right.
All right. Yep. All right. All right. All right. We are here. We are live. And welcome, 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 everybody. Well, I sent the message off to Tommy Radcliffe and X. I don't know if he'll ever see
Yeah,
it. He has some medical stuff he's dealing with. Who knows if he's going to be here? If he is
yeah.
here, no, wonderful. If he's not here, we'll try again next time. Hey, there's Unar. Hey, Unar.
All right. What's up, Unar?
Happy Friday to you as well. And
Yeah.
before you get distracted and you decide to check out, if you want a reading, let me know what you want. One, two, or three cards. I do three cards. One, two, or three cards when you do the oracle cards. And let me know what you want. Usually with the oracle cards, you should only do one card, I guess, is what they tell me. But I like to do three cards because it gives a more rounded decision, I think, Bobby. You know,
Uh,
when you're reading the cards, it gives you a more rounded answer, I think.
yeah. A two-card draw for Unar.
Card, all right. Yeah, I think you had two cards last time. All right.
Oh, yeah.
We'll do that in a little bit. Just hang on. Hang on. We're not going to do that right away.
All right. Yeah. So what's in your mind?
We're going to visit a little bit, though. But, yeah, two cards. Okay. We'll get that. Just hold on. Um, so I was talking to you earlier, Bobby, about the Pope talking about, and you and I were kind of talking about, well, is he going to be on Trump's side or against Trump's, right? We're
Right.
kind of going back and forth on that. And then when he comes out today, or yesterday, whenever it was that he mentioned it, he said, there is a man and a woman, and there is marriage, a union between two people, man and woman, or man and woman, and then they have a child. And then the unborn child, has dignity. Now that, in my opinion, is the biggest announcement that any pope could announce. Okay? In
Mm-hmm.
my opinion. Okay?
Yeah.
Now, you don't have to agree with me. You don't have to agree with the pope, and if you're for one thing or the other or whatever, or if you have a personal life choice that you live your own way, that's fine. I don't care about all that. I'm going by what the Pope said. I'm going by what the Bible teaches.
So.
Okay. But I'm not going to condemn anyone for their choice, Bobby. I have some
Mhm.
friends that have made their life choice to live a different life, and I'm not going to condemn them. That's their choice. Okay. I'm
Yeah.
not saying it's right or wrong, but at the same time, uh, I shouldn't be condemned by, I know you're a guy or whatever, I know you're not who you know what I'm saying? It's kind of hard, if I'm going to misgender somebody, whose fault is it? Is it the person that's changing their body style because they have some kind of mental issue? I don't know. Um, I think it is a mental issue in my opinion. And again, nothing meaning, not meaning to be rude or crude or anything against that, but just saying, you know, I just don't understand it, Bobby. I don't know. I mean, I thought it was weird when I was growing up and we used to go to San Francisco, and there you had the hippies and you had the weird stuff, guys wearing bikinis, things like that, in the early '70s and things like that. And we're like, what the hell is going on here? And that was then. Imagine that. Now it's just like, common, common that a guy can be wearing a dress, no big deal. Nobody seems to care. But I don't think it's quite right, in my opinion. That's just me though. And but again, as long as you're not harming anyone, if you're hurting somebody, you know, then we got a problem. But if you're just trying to live your life, minding your own business, Not a big deal. You,
Yeah,
you understand what I'm saying, right, Bobby?
yeah. I'm not here to judge.
And that's my point. Exactly.
I
And
mean, I mean, no, no one always saying judge not and be not judge it.
correct.
Mm.
Correct.
That's something what Jesus would say to
Yeah.
everybody today. So like, yeah, like Unar, she's worried about the kids, which is, yeah, that's it's always been a big concern. Is but sometimes you gotta have like a little balance.
Yeah.
So like, so should like anybody who has gay kids, and let's say like sometimes it's like I said, you gotta learn the balance. And if you're gonna give them tech like a tablet or even a gaming console, make sure they have to understand what it's like to socialize.
Yeah.
Because in today's world, you gotta learn. The kid has to learn about socialization.
Yeah.
And if you let them do that, and then you try to balance between the gaming or tech world and the real world, then your kid might have a better life.
Oh, yeah. Good point.
So so sometimes when you might have to give them like a little warning in advance, let's say if your child is playing a video game like Call of Duty,
Yeah.
sometimes he might have to. It might take longer for him to finish the match. And then after he was done with the match, he could just put the controller down. He could put his controller down and go and eat.
Yeah.
So, sometimes, like you can give him the best thing I would do is give him like a 30-minute warning and then a 15-minute warning and then a 5-minute warning. You start with a 30-minute warning, then you go down to 15, then to 5. It'll be good.
I like that one. Unar, I'm
Oh yeah, let me
getting your
blast you up.
card. I'm getting your card here. I'm just
Then you want to.
waiting for your message. See how I do it. How I do it a little bit differently. What I do is I use these oracle cards. I like them because I like the nice pictures that they have, and I ask. Basically, what I do is I ask the. I'll say in my vocabulary, I ask the Holy Spirit. Bob, you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah,
And I ask the one who I say is the Holy Spirit, and I ask for a message for whoever I'm reading for. Okay, so I don't count this as evil, as some would say. That tarot card readings is evil, or any kind of card readings is evil, or if you don't put your trust in. Yeah, hold on a minute now. I just got done explaining to you that one, I'm asking the Holy Spirit for the message to share. Do you understand that? Okay, so when I go into like when Dr. Rita, when she does her readings, and she goes into a little meditative uh, state, right, to get the message, correct? Okay. So in my case, I just mentally aware. I ask the Holy Spirit. Just give you a little key as to how I do it. Give a little uh, request, what is Uner's message for today? And then as I pull the card, it speaks to me and gives me a kind of what your message needs to be. Now, it's not always, might not always be 100%, but
it's there.
yeah, I like these two. And so I'm going to show you these two here, and we'll see how you like them. I'll go and do a little story if you want.
Oh yeah, let's see. Oh, all's in perfect timing.
Yeah, that light, the light from the screen causes a problem. That's
Yes,
the problem.
the
But you can see that all is in perfect time.
oh yeah.
Okay. Okay, so don't be in a rush, Lunar. Be patient. And even with the topic that we talked about before, with uh, I don't want to go into too much detail, but we talked about some medical stuff before, just really slightly. But don't be impatient with that, and but definitely do some research on your situation. But be patient, okay? Don't rush it, whatever it is.
Oh yeah. You are protected.
Yep, you are protected. Yep. So that is what that says. Yep, you are protected. Yeah, and that means that your angels are watching over you. Now I'll get this picture here. I gotta get these cards really lay flat on the
Yeah.
keyboard.
Send it to me,
Okay.
and I'll send it. And I'll send it.
Yeah, I don't know why I can't get it directly to Uner. I know I see them in chat. See them in chat rather. Oh, okay. I'll send it to you though, Bobby, and you can get it.
Yeah.
So think about what I'm saying here. Hopefully it does something for you. I know Dr. Rita's been right on with her readings recently.
And Dr.
Bobby,
Rita is a good, beautiful lady with nice.
I want to. What I want to do is I want to get her free uh, guide that she has for intuitive training. You know, send it to you on Messenger, Bobby.
Yeah, you can.
Okay.
I just need to get the
There
commands
you are.
back.
Yep, there you are.
You should have me.
All right. You got it. There it is.
Oh yeah.
Unar, what do you think? What do you think? Did that kind of say anything to you? Oh,
Yeah. Um. Okay. Oh, just hold on,
cool.
Leonard. I'm just gonna launch a couple of
Yeah, thank you.
things that
Thank you.
not get launched, and I'm also gonna use my phone for it.
All right, Bobby. I guess it's your turn now. You're the only one here.
I'm in trouble.
Wait, we got 6 watching somewhere. Where are you guys watching at? Oh, I can check that up here. That's right.
All right,
3 on
Unar, your amethysts are away.
3 on X, and then we got your regular watcher, and then 2 on Errt Radio YouTube. I don't know where you're at.
Oh yeah.
Hey, people on X, come on over to YouTube. And Tommy Radcliffe, I don't know if you can see me or not, but I sent you the link to the show. Come on in. How many cards you want, Bobby? 1, 2, or 3?
I'll take a 3.
All right. I'll just pull them all first, and then we'll look at them, okay? Yeah, I wish that Tommy Radcliffe would be here. He could help play some soothing music with his guitar. Yeah, I think we had that one before for you, Bobby. I remember it. But that's the message that's coming out right now. And Bobby, I'm sorry I got upset at music with a theme earlier.
Yeah, sometimes, yeah, when others tell you that it's working fine,
Yeah, Andy said it was working fine, and
yeah. I mean, even if you have to do all of what you got to do, yeah, you still got to reboot everything. Reboot always solves problems. What I want to do? What I want to do? Oh yeah. Oh.
huh? I like that one.
Oh.
All right, Bobby. I'm getting something here.
Oh.
I like all of these, Bobby. Perfect.
All right.
All right, here we go. The first one is. Remember, I was telling you before, everyone that's listening, I was telling you all before. Hey, Venus, how you doing? Would you like
How you
Would you
doing?
like reading, Venus? 1, 2, or 3 cards, your choice. Nice to have you here. Thank you for being here. Bobby, here's your first card, though.
Yeah, trust your angels.
Yeah, remember when I was telling you about that? That we all have our. We have at least one angel, right? We have one angel that we're born with from the very beginning. We might not even know it until we actually decided to look into it and decided to act. But I believe we have possibly 3 angels that help us, and it depends on whether or not we are receptive or not. So, Bobby, what this card is telling you, and what the message I'm getting is, we all need to learn a little patience, okay? And that's just about in everything we do. And so be patient when you're trying to help somebody get their computer to work correctly, like mine. And don't be upset at me not understanding what you're saying. Be patient, because you're not going to deal with everyone that has the same thought process as you have. Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
And so be patient with them. Be careful.
Yeah. Open up to your spiritual gifts.
Yeah. It looks reversed on my screen. It's normal for you though. Right? It looks normal.
Yeah,
Right side up?
it's normal to me. It's normal to
Okay.
me. Sometimes when you go to your settings, sometimes your mirroring option might be present.
Yeah, I don't have
That's
that. I
enabled.
don't have that.
Okay. Yeah, just give me a
Could
word
be.
of warning. Recognize the signs from above. Mhm.
Yeah. So the other 2 cards here, okay, open up to your spiritual gifts, and I recognize the signs from above. So first of all, it all deals with up there, Bobby. So what now? We both know that you and I are kind of religious people that believe in God and the Holy Spirit and all that kind of stuff. We don't necessarily believe in all this craziness about angels. But anyway, just to entertain our thoughts here, trust your angels, Bobby. Find out who your lead angel is, Bobby. That'd be my challenge to you before next week. All right, before next Friday. Actually, I want everyone to do this. Everyone who's listening. Ask, hey, who is my angel? Or ask the Holy Spirit if you have to, or whatever. Whoever you gotta ask, find out who your primary angel is that's watching over you. That's the one you want to communicate with. Now, of course, we can communicate with Jesus Christ. We can communicate through the Holy Spirit directly, no issues like that. But on a more personal level between us and the spiritual realm, so to speak, to have a guide, like say an angel, is a good idea. Especially if it's a good and positive guide. Okay, that's thing you want to make sure. Okay? Now, again, open up to your spiritual gifts, Bobby. I think we all have them. We all have some, okay? We all have some spiritual gifts. You need to discover which ones you need to start working on and using to help yourself and to help others around you. That makes sense?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So now, if you're not comfortable with learning about it, then don't. But I would suggest maybe talking more with Dr. Rita and seeing what she might suggest. She might tell you to get that download that she has to offer on her site, to help you understand where you're at in the growth process of the spirituality of our experience here. And then, yeah, so you work on that, you start understanding what your gifts are. Even if you only have one gift, that's fine. Okay? And your one gift could be intuition. Your one gift could be, maybe it's an understanding of some things that most people can't understand. Then the other thing is recognize the signs from above, which is what I'm giving you right now. Giving you a sign from above. Look into your spiritual gifts, reach out, ask for guidance, whether it be the Holy Spirit, your holy angel that's watching over you, and all that stuff, okay? So if you remember in some of the Old Testament stories, Bob, remember the angel came and talked to so and so. Remember that in some of the stories?
Yeah, I get what you're talking about.
In the Old Testament, and then some was good messages, some not so good messages, but they all came with a message for the person that needed to hear it. And so that's what I'm saying. We all have that communication with that, and some of us might have an issue with going right to the top, which would be the Holy Spirit, right? That's God, right? But yet, if we believe in that, then we already have Him inside of us. We're already what I would say, in my belief, we're already born again. We already have the Holy Spirit in us. So we got to think it directly, unilateral with the Spirit. Now, and your belief, you might have a little bit different, but you have a direct connection with I believe God. But in case you have a mental block in getting that understandable, then you have an angel to help you get to that level. You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So then with that, along the way, you work on your spiritual gifts that you have already. And you might want to research that by, like I said, reaching out to Dr. Rita and some other people you might know that you can trust. and they'd be able to help you evaluate what you need to work on. Okay, and then of course recognize the signs from above. So I don't know. Have you seen any signs from above, Bobby?
Um,
I mean, like, have you seen anything like, oh, that's a message for me. I need to think about that.
I think there's a lot of things we didn't think about,
Yeah.
but probably not going to be mentioned in some shape
No,
or
no, we
form.
don't. No, we don't want to. You don't have to mention it either. But I mean, if you have a thought or you have some kind of idea that you have gotten some kind of a message or something, then you know what I'm talking about. Okay, that's all I'm saying. Oh, hold on, Bobby, we're getting it here. And Venus, if you're still here, you'll get the next reading. All right. That should be good. That's good enough. That's good enough for. That's good enough for the government. All right, right to messenger again, Bobby. There you go. All right, so I hope that makes sense, Bobby. If it resonates with you, as Dr. Rita says, let me know how it works out. Over the next, I turned them around. Come on now, good turning them around. Oh boy. All right, Venus, you want 1, 2, or 3 cards? I don't know. She said 3 before. I didn't see any answer yet. Okay, 1, 2, or 3 cards, lady. I'll do shuffle until she says a number. 3 cards. Okay. Yep. I thought you might have said that earlier. Actually, I forgot. All right. I hope that makes sense, Bobby. So,
Oh yeah.
ooh, like that. See, I'm asking for a message, and I'm looking at the cards, and I see the card. One pops out, and that's the one I have to get. You understand that? That kind of goes right along with that one too. I like that. All right. I actually, I like that one. Yeah, so I look at the card, and then when it speaks to me, that's what I choose. And it's all dealing with asking the spirit for the message. So Venus,
Open your heart.
yeah, I like that design on that card. Look at that. It does look nice, don't it? Just the colors of the card looks nice. Not the pretty lady in the picture, but the heart, the red, the blonde hair, and the white with the wings and everything. You know what I mean? All that kind of works good. I like that. Open your heart. I would say that's more or less referring to relax. You know what I mean? Relax. And open your heart. Be ready to receive your gifts or to improve your gifts. Be ready to um, be cautious, of course, in today's world, but be open to receiving gifts that people will have. Good people, not crazy people.
Yeah.
Regain your focus. Okay?
Yeah.
Usually it's right for me. I don't know why it's not right for me now. It's weird. You say it's right for you, so that's all that matters.
And embrace the magical moment.
Yeah. And this comes with developing your spiritual gifts more, Venus, of course. But so, open your heart has to deal with be ready to receive your gifts and use them. And of course, regain your focus, whatever that focus might be. That's nice. Yeah. Thank you for that. I just asked what? I just asked for a little time. All right. And then embrace the magical moment, which I think
Yeah.
you do that.
I I just had some fish and chips.
Oh, okay. I just had a cheeseburger today. It was Cheeseburger Friday.
At the bar.
Well, I'd take it home.
Yeah. Yeah, but at that bar on Main Street, right? You didn't go
Yeah.
to the Mac and D's or anything.
No, this is they used an air fryer to cook the burger. So, but it's right here. I don't have to go anywhere. Today was not a good day to be going anywhere. Rain like crazy.
Yeah.
Cold. I didn't feel like going anywhere, Bobby.
Oh wow. What was the weather here?
That could be why my connection wasn't so good either.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sometimes even the lightest of rain will still cause issues. But then it's also doing a channel check with your ISP.
Okay, now, where do I send this to, Venus? Where do I send this to?
You well, you should know Messenger. I'm
Okay,
s-
message. All right, let's see. There you are. Okay, yep. Venus, if you're still on Messenger under your other name, then it's coming to you.
yeah, I'm still not going back.
Still not going back to what? Don't need to go into detail.
Still not.
And hopefully that worked out for a good message for you. So bottom line, guys, be ready to receive information. Might be from the most unusual people. You might be looking at something online and thinking, I wouldn't do that, or I would do that, or wait, what would I do in that situation?
Yeah.
Or you might be looking at something, I like that idea, I'm gonna have to see if I can do that. I mean, there's a lot of interesting people that are doing a lot of interesting things out there.
Just don't let it be TikTok.
Well, they want you to use TikTok now.
Yeah, but remember they had some problems with, like they tried it, but whenever somebody else tried it, they got hurt.
Oh no, what did they get hurt? What happened?
I mean, every once in a while there's a TikTok trend, and they try the trend, and the next thing you know,
Oh yeah.
uh,
Man, we got 9 people, you 9 people. Where are you watching at?
yeah,
7 now.
yeah, it was 84 today, and we're supposed to go down to 76. What you was talking about the weather before you want to change the subject.
Yeah. Yeah, well, we have we have 48 degrees and cloudy. And I had the air on a little bit when it was kind of a little bit brighter out there, but it was still raining and cold, but yet it was warm inside. So I had the heater on. It was like 75 degrees inside, about sweating to death. So I turned on the air, got it down, and it got to 68, and man, it got cold. I had to turn back on the heat. So I'm glad they both work all right, though, so that's a good thing. But if I move out to the desert, though, Bobby, all I'd have to do to get warm is just step outside for a little bit, except maybe at nighttime. Nighttime it'd be cold. During daytime, all I'd have to do is stand outside for a few minutes and I'm warm. But for the heat in the desert, you'd be inside with the air conditioner like I am anyway. So it wouldn't really mean any different. You know? And the thing about moving to the desert, like what I'm talking about, Bobby, actually I'd be closer to you then if I did that. Moved to Nevada. Nevada would be closer than where I am right now. Right?
Right.
So
That's if you have the ability to move to the desert. Probably when September comes.
we'll see. We'll see how I feel. If I can get my medical all switched over without any trouble. I found out I can actually still do my banking, right? Keep my bank the same. I wouldn't have to change anything there. I just have to figure out how to ship the money over to my local area where I could use it or something. I don't know. I'd figure it out.
Yeah.
But I don't want to have to try to move all that crap either. That's the only thing about moving. You got to change all that. You got to get a new registration for the car, and all that. Got to get a new license and everything like that. That is a pain in the neck. But then I'm thinking about, well, I wouldn't have to worry about the tornadoes that we had the other day. You know, all over the area. I mean, we didn't have any here, thank goodness. We had rain here. We had some good wind here, but we didn't have any tornadoes. Not right near here anyway. But up north there was some, and there's some bad forest fires up north as well. Not here though.
Yeah.
But, yeah, in the desert though, I mean, really the only thing I'm gonna have to worry about is scorpions, spiders, and maybe some dust storms, but you wouldn't have those all the time. I mean, here you have tornadoes all the time, every single year. Every single year, you got some kind of worry about your house. Is your house going to be there? Nobody knows. So, like when I went to Bill's last year and we had that bad storm, and actually the first year I went to Bill's, we had that bad storm, and a tree in front took off most of its broken down branches, and it would have killed somebody if somebody was underneath it. So I'm glad
Oh
nobody.
yeah. Was that during Sandy?
No, no, no. That
Oh.
was when I went to Bill's in 2000. What was it? 2017 or whatever.
Oh.
And we had a bad tornado breakout in the area, but we had high winds otherwise. If you didn't have a tornado, but it was like I was in I think I was almost Charles' house in Ohio, and my friend Dennis that lives here down the street there, he said, "Yeah, your front tree just kind of like shook loose a bunch of branches," and he was picking them up. He showed me in the pictures. He picked them up in his trailer and took it away, which was nice of him to clean it up. But man, I could imagine somebody was underneath that when that happened, Bobby. That would have been gone. I wouldn't feel good
Yeah.
about that. And that's why I cut all my trees down, Bobby, just because of that recent safety issue. And
Oh yeah.
now I got one tree in front that if that comes loose and hits the house, then we got a problem. But yeah, in the desert, you wouldn't have these problems like that. Yeah, you'd have other things to worry about. I know.
Oh
But
yeah.
I'm just thinking, I don't know. I could actually sell this house right now, and I could buy a house and property, and still have money left over from this house. That's amazing when I think about that. All
Oh
right.
yeah. You should be able to do something like that.
So I can have like, I mean, yeah, it'd be desert, it'd be sand, it'd be desert, and there wouldn't be anything there, no grass to mow. But I could have pretty large, pretty large piece of land, where it could be all mine. Wouldn't have a neighbor next to me, you know. Grocery store might be a little bit of a drive, but it is already anyway for me to go to the real grocery store. And so yeah, it's you know, of course now I have electric and water and everything connected here. Where in the desert I might have to figure out some other alternative.
Mm-hmm. Lunar has tornado nightmares for a
Yeah, yeah.
while. If Wizard of Oz always gives you nightmares, pretty much Stephen King's It will give you a lot more than that.
Yeah.
I watched the original one. I didn't see the remake, but I watched the original one.
When I'm from California originally, we had earthquakes just about all the time. And when they talk about the big earthquakes, not a big deal. I mean, you get used to that. I remember I got really good with earthquakes when I was younger, and I was trying to figure out how strong they were and everything like this. One time we were living in our new place in town or city called Pleasanton, California, and it's East Bay, just south of Sacramento, I guess, and uh, past the ridge and east, Livermore and Livermore Laboratory, you know, Lawrence Livermore Laboratory and Livermore, California, Pleasanton, right beside it. And anyway, the earthquake came along, and I had to, I watched my dog. My dog just walked out the front door like it was nothing. Of course, she's on all fours, right? So I said, "Hey, that's a good idea." So I got on the floor and I crawled to the door so I could get out of the house because the house was moving and shaking. The floorboards were shaking and shifting and everything like that. And then I got over to the schoolyard. We lived across from the schoolyard. And then we could look at the houses, and they were like rolling in a wave, like a sea wave. The whole neighborhood was just rolling. The tops of the house were just rolling. It was amazing. amazing to see. And then there was a big bump on the ground underneath me, like a big thump. And I could feel it with my feet, of course. I had my shoes on, but I mean, I could feel the bump on the, like somebody with a broomstick on the ceiling, right? And like, holy cow, that was about a 7.2, just guessing. And I get back and look at the news, and it was 7.1. I had it right.
Oh yeah.
And then when I was in the service, part of my job, and I was the quartermaster, which is navigation, for what I'm talking about. Many people say quartermaster, you think supply. No, well, we did handle supply stuff, but we were navigation. We directed the ship, the course, and the ship's course, and things like that. We could tell the weather. You know, I used to be able to tell the weather pretty good, and with all the tools that we had, and of course, when you're in the middle of the ocean, you're looking at the weather. You can see the weather coming. You don't have to. You don't have to estimate it or read it or whatever. You already know it's going to be a storm coming, so you got to get ready. And yeah, so even after all that time on the ship, you learn how to tell the weather. Like when a tornado comes by, you know when it's going to be close, or if it's going to be one that's going to be hitting you or being around you or whatever. You kind of know that. You know that from your body reaction. Your body reacts to it. Okay? Like your shoulders hurt, your legs hurt, your knees hurt, whatever. You know, like you have many different things that hurt. But yeah, so be open to that kind of stuff too. That's important because that could save your life, believe it or not. If you're in a situation where your body's telling you something that you need to pay attention to, you know, then you need to react to it.
Oh yeah.
But be ready to react to that. Hey, we did pretty good, Bob. We got about an hour in. Wow.
Oh yeah, but we're about like almost 50 in. Thank you for everybody that wants to drop on in.
Yeah, well, hopefully, I was hoping that we could get Tommy Radcliffe in here. He didn't show up. He might be on X watching. I don't know. But Tommy, you got your link inside your messenger on X. If you get in there, click on that link, you should be able to get right in here.
If Tommy's here.
Yeah, I didn't see him on X at all. He's like I said, he's had some health issues he's been dealing with, so I can understand that. I can't.
Yeah.
I mean, I've had that myself. I've been lucky recently. I've had a few days off. I haven't had to rush to the hospital for some kind of test or whatever. Man.
At least that should be a good sign.
Yeah, I still got to figure out if I got to go in June 3rd or not. I'm going to try to get out of that one. They want me to drive to Sioux Falls in the evening and then come back in the later evening. About 7 o'clock by the time I'm getting back.
Oh yeah.
I don't want to do that.
Yeah.
I don't have the gas and I don't have the patience to drive that far.
Yeah.
I mean, it's weird if you're driving to an event and you're excited about getting there, but if you're driving to a doctor's appointment, that's a whole different deal.
Yeah, it's
You're not excited about going to a doctor's appointment.
not really, no.
Yeah, so Unar, I lived in California most of my life, born and raised born in Oakland, California, and lived in and around Oakland, Hayward, in that area as a kid, and then moved out to Pleasanton and went to junior high across the street. I just had to walk across the street to go to school, Bobby. So
Oh wow.
walk right across the playing field there to go to school, and sixth, seventh, and eighth grade, that was super easy.
Mhm.
I had to pick the time to leave because if I waited too long, I'd be late getting the first period. So I had to make sure I left at the right time so I get there on time. And I'm just across the street. You wait till the
Oh,
last minute. You wait till the last minute to leave, and then you end
yeah.
up getting there late. But then I went to Amador High School, called Amador Valley High School in California, and that was in Pleasanton.
Uh-huh.
And 4 years there from 75 to 79. Graduated in 79, just barely, by the skin of my teeth.
Yeah. Hmm.
Just barely graduating, but I did it. And
Yeah.
I had
That's
to
all it is to
retake.
it.
I remember I had to retake civics class because I failed that the first time. I had to retake it in my senior year, and I had to pass it. Or I didn't get passed. I did manage to get it done, though.
Yeah.
And then I went into the service, and I said I want to leave home and travel the world and get away from this crazy state, California. And so I got away from it for a little while, went overseas, did two West Packs, what they call West Packs. That's where you go overseas and you're with a squadron of different ships with a carrier group usually, and you have different other ships with you.
Oh, yeah.
But I was on if you look it up, you can look it up. I was on a USS Denver LPD 9 landing. I call it a landing personnel dock. Someone else might call it something else. I like that lettering of that landing personnel dock. We carried 1,200 Marines with all their stuff. We're Austin class amphibious ship. Look that up. You see what I'm talking about? We had a flat bottom keel to where we can go into the shallow waters and deballast and let the people out of the well deck, all the Marines and their equipment, they get on the beach. We were used for invading the beaches, you know, for
Hmm.
wartime. And you look that ship up, you see what I'm talking about. And it's no longer around. It's sunk in the middle of the ocean around Hawaii somewhere. They were used it for target practice and sunk it. Sad, sad. I
Yeah.
did 4 years of my life on that ship. That was my home, Bobby. That was my home. It's
Hmm. Oh,
across
wow.
the
Wow.
ocean. Yeah. Except for my last 6 months or so when I lived off the ship and off base. I get to live on with somebody at a house or whatever. But for the
Hmm.
most part, I was on that ship for 4 years. I lived there. That was my home. So when we went out to sea, it was my home. When I came back in port, it was my home.
Oh, yeah.
It was pretty easy. I didn't have to pay rent, you know. When I
Hey.
stayed on the ship, I didn't have to pay rent at all. So the only time I had to pay rent was when I moved off and I lived in somebody's house and I had to help pay rent. And I didn't make a lot of money then, but rent wasn't too bad then either. I mean, $35 a week or something like that. I don't know, something like that for a room. You got a room in a house.
Oh, yeah.
And
So
so,
about 55 minutes in.
yeah. So,
What
so
did,
yeah, I'm just gonna finish some of my story how I got here in a
yeah, go
minute.
ahead.
Sorry, Bobby. Oh, then I got out of the service and I did security work. I applied for the San Diego Sheriff Department, but they said I didn't speak Spanish well enough and I wasn't black, so I couldn't go to work for them. Now, back in the day, if I would have thought about it, I could have probably sued that, got my job. But I thought, probably a good thing I'm not a cop anyway with all this craziness now, you know. No offense towards any cops, but I'm glad I'm not one. I'm glad I didn't become one in that sense, with all the headache they have to deal with. But I did security work for 2 years, which was a lot of fun. And I got out of that, and I went up to Sacramento, lived there for 4 years, and I did custodial work for a church and school system. Worked overnight. Made some good money though, Bobby. I made like between $8 and $10 an hour at that time, 1987 to 1991. $10
Now
was
it's
my
probably like about 20 or 30 in today's money.
yeah. Ending wage was like $10, close to $10 an hour, and then they let everybody go because they're going to outside help, and then they didn't want to pay us insurance for medical and things like that. So they canned us all, got rid of us, and sent us on our way. I did a yard sale, made a whole bunch of money. I got um, to get to North Carolina. My wife at that time was from North Carolina, so when I was married, and anyway, she wanted to go and live with her family for a little bit, so I said, okay, we can do that. So I found an officer that had to have their car transferred to North Carolina from Sacramento area. So all I had to do was drive the car there because the officer had to get transferred there, and they went to their job, and then they had to get their car delivered, which was me. And I had to get away to North Carolina, which I didn't have a way there, so the car for the officer was the way to get there. So I drove there, right? And 4 days later, I'm finally getting into Fayetteville, North Carolina, get the officer the car. I got a $200 check for driving it, so they paid for the gas too at the same time. So, but I got a $200 check to gas, and so that's all good. And then met my wife's family. They got us a trailer to live in for a little bit, and we moved around here and there, got different places to live. And then that was in Kannapolis, North Carolina, that I wound up in, and worked at Pizza Hut for 9 years, Bobby.
Mm-hmm.
Cook and delivery. And then I ended up getting a little house there, and then they wanted me to pay taxes for a minor league baseball stadium. You know what I said, Bobby? That's what I said. No, I said, no way. I ain't going to pay taxes for no minor league baseball stadium.
Yeah.
So I said, F you, I'm selling my house. I'm out of here. And I didn't look back. I sold my house. I think I wound up with about $10,000 profit on top of that house, believe it or not. And that was even with owing money on it. I ended up paying it off, but I ended up still having a couple of dollars left in my pocket. But my wife decided she didn't like living here in Minnesota, and she took a bunch of money and left. And she actually filed for divorce back in the day in 2000. I lived up here for 25 years now for Minnesota.
Yeah.
I lived in Minneapolis and that area for about 17 years.
Mm-hmm.
And then when I got this house, it was like my landlord. I lived in an apartment in Minneapolis, and then in Brooklyn Center. I lived in the apartments that he owned. And he said, hey, I got a house in Jeffers, Minnesota.
Uh-huh.
Jeffers? Where the hell is Jeffers at? You know, big city, you know. I lived in Minneapolis and all around St. Paul area, and who knows where Jeffers is. You know, so come on down here, look at the house, and I say, I'll take it. And I didn't even care what it looked like inside. I didn't care what the condition of it was. I just said, I'm getting out of the city. I did that. I got out of the city, and no more headache, no more violence and shootings and all kinds of craziness going on there. And I got out of there right before the George Floyd riots and all that stuff, so that's a good thing.
Yeah.
I don't know if I could have survived all that. And in the apartments where I lived at, Poppy, actually, the police officer at Brooklyn Center actually shot the kid in the car right at the corner of my apartment building, right outside the police station. And
Oh, wow.
they had a whole place all tore up and tied up and this and that. They named the street after the kid's name. Wasn't supposed to be driving the car, by the way.
Yeah.
He wasn't supposed to be running. He wasn't supposed to drive in the car and all that stuff. Anyway, yeah, when I finally got my Social Security, then I moved out to that other apartment in Brooklyn Center, and then I've been on Social Security since then, basically. Yeah,
Okay.
surviving. So there you go. That's my life story, guys. Next time you get to tell yours, Bobby.
Oh yeah. Um, oh yeah. So we're about 61 minutes in. Thank you, Unar. Thank you, B.
All right.
I'm still not coming back.
Well, there you go. I hope you guys enjoyed that little story time there.
Anything else? Otherwise, I think if you're ready to go, let's go.
Took a long what? Took a long bus ride where?
From Pittsburgh, was visiting her Marine brother. Thank you for your service.
Oh yeah. Oh nice. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So whenever,
Ron.
so
Ron. Yeah. Yeah. He's calling me Rob. He got my name all mixed up. Ron.
yeah, it's RON, not ROE. So
That's okay.
yeah, it'll be all right. All right.
I always say, don't call me late for dinner. Call me anything you want.
That's it.
Don't,
That's it.
don't call me late for dinner. I get mad when I miss food.
Yeah. All right.
Go ahead and roll it, Bobby.
Yes, sir. Uncle, I'm trying to do a show. And remember, we're on Mixwork, Popping, Facebook, YouTube, Trouble, X, Rumble, and Instagram. Pause and scan that QR code right away because, yeah, we're on the bed because no one wants to be a ghost handling a canoe.
Hey, how you doing?
All right, and my uncle's calling me up.
All right. Yeah. Thank you, Bobby. Yeah. So I was gonna say, yeah. Thank you for joining us tonight, and hopefully come back again. I gotta change those numbers on that one video that we got there.
Yeah, we should.
We'll work on it. All right. We'll see you next time. Thank you, everyone. Have a great night.
All right. Good night, everybody. Thank you for watching.